Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let me give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a lot of things happening. Deku, him and the other heroes, they have done much in these times they've spent with their friends, their loved ones, their companions. And in the last 13 months, they have risen to the height of great power, only for that to be cut down. Izuku, he's alive. He's cursed. He lost his best friend in battle, and the person who did it was calm, cold, and collected. He had a chance to try and test his might. They couldn't even run. He had Indra taken out in a single attack, and she was only 25 levels below him. Deku, he had Pyra die in his arms. And the others, they were not as lucky as he was. He still had his life. Ochako had her eye ripped out and her loved ones killed, directly in front of her. Bakugo, he froze. He couldn't move to strike or attack. He simply was stuck watching all this go down. People falling around them, the battle getting crazier, and he was only able to save Elsa when she ran directly to him and he grabbed her to protect her, trying to turn to get away since that circle Deku tried to use did not work. However, he was the one who had to witness the event. He saw Ochako get hurt. He saw Kirishima fall in battle and die. And his party members, they were taken out in front of them at the snap of a finger. This guy can deflect magic. This guy stopped Deku's spell. Whatever he is, he's not human. He's very powerful. And that meant a bit. Deku, he currently has a lot happening. And the world, as they know it, they have lost something important. One of the sparks that may have been able to save it. Now, Kirishima, whenever news of his death began to travel, it was bad. The heroes were seen as beyond human. That was already well known. But the idea that one of them died in battle against unknown opponents worries them. It's been 3 weeks. People have come to pick up the heroes, take what they have and lick their wounds. And currently, we do have, or someone, they do begin to move around and shuffle around in a bed before their eyes do open up and they do to sit up, trying to recall the last few things that have happened. It's all fuzzy, but they were sitting there. There was a lot going on. She remembers that there was a battlefield, there was an opponent, a man in strange plated armor, and his hand in Atrig's daughter. That being on her memory does get a snap back into focus. The last thing she remembers was being attacked in combat when that guy grabbed her by the throat. And this does make her go to reach for it. Before someone's at a knock on the door, and she does get to watch them step inside. A servant going to look over at her, before she's going to somewhat put down the tray and quickly move over, sitting down and asking if Lady Indra is okay. She's been out for quite some time. Her injuries were quite severe, and she didn't regain consciousness immediately. I'm alright. Where am I? Are we still in Kaldi? Near that location? No, you're in Granala. You have been returned here safely. After what happened with the events of your battle. I see. Good. So, how did everything go? He was a challenging opponent. I'm sure they handled it correctly. Her goes out smile, thinking about what her rival might have done. And the woman, she does a turn looking away, her body language and face shifting at that mention. And she does stare at the person before going to sniff the air and realize one thing. The mood has changed. Turning and going to stand, asking what happened, saying that a bit louder. And the woman does try to express they suffered casualties. And the moment those words are said, she's going to turn, making her way out the door quickly. Before she's going running down the hallway and trying to find out what happened. And there is currently Theodore. Theodore does sit in Izuku's room, trying to say something to him, trying to talk to him, see if any words can help. But Deku does so and still look down, staring at his hands, trying to just think about what the hell's happening in his mind. And there is even Lillian, who does try to say words to him, but not getting any results. And there is where the door does get a burst open. Deku's eyes snapping up at that, as she does a step in and ask what happened, turning to see Deku. And there is where he does a turn looking towards her, and she does get to notice his eyes. They are full of murderous intent. They're full of madness. But what's worse, they're dark red. The whites are gone. And they do have that strange symbol on his head. Him going to turn looking away. As she does have someone ask, what the hell? Indra, you're finally awake. What happened? I've been out for some time. There was casualties. How long? You've been asleep for 3 weeks. We believe he hit you with a spell. You're alive. Same cannot be said for the others. What happened on that battlefield? Izuku. Her making her way over. Theodore bring his hand up as he does to shake his head no. And she does a turn looking at Lillian, knowing that she may have some insight. Before she does have someone turn and does someone put the book she does have in her hands closed, standing up and expressing. She does have some duties to attend to. Perhaps later tonight she can talk with Izuku. The servants will bring him lunch and then food. It will be a nice little course, and perhaps his recovery can improve. He's healing faster than normal. Benefits of his skills, I guess. Her nodding, turning and going to leave. And when the door does to close, Deku does a turn back, expressing. They're dead. Her surprised. What do you mean? Pyra's dead. Oliver's dead, and others are dead. Kirishima's dead. He's dead. He just dropped in front of us, and there's a lot going on. Him rocking back and forth, bringing his left hand up to his head. And Theodore does go to bring his hand up, telling him to take a breath. I was cursed that the place we were in, some things there don't make sense. But they shouldn't exist. That thing shouldn't exist. I don't know what I'm doing. This doesn't feel right. I need to get out of here. Are you alright? I'm fine. No, I can't be here. This isn't good, Theodore. I just need to go. Deku attempting to stand, and the man, he does try to push Deku back. However, Indra is surprised to see Deku physically push Theodore away, telling him he needs to do something. That's what he needs to do. He just needs something. The red in his eyes going to turn to dark black as the blood does going to pour from them. And she's going to watch that as Deku does stumble backwards, clutching at his head. And the pain she does see on his expression does mean a bit. He's been cursed. And she does go a step forwards, expressing that she can contact her father about this. It's a powerful curse, Indra. I don't know what it is. It's madness, but it's been modified. How do you know? A wordless spellcaster. Intention behind it is different. I've never heard of wordless curses, though. They take much longer, though. There's a rune directly put into his mind. Potentially a circle as well. He doesn't have the mental fortitude to break it. And how much money would it cost for someone to do that? They've tried already. Top mages can't do that. They're working on solutions, but they don't work. I need to go out there. I need to find him, and I need his blood spilled. That's not going to work out for you, Izuku. I know. I just need him dead. You don't understand. He needs to die. Him turning, where he's to shout at somebody to shut up. And she does a recoil watching Deku, as he does go scream at somebody who is not there. And that, yeah, he seems crazy. And the man does get a turn, going to grab Indra, there we go, and going to step out of the room. Because they do need to have a chat. And there currently is Izuku, who he does somewhat sit there in the bed, turning his head and seeing Oliver, who does go to lean against the wall and flipping a coin in his armor, talking about it. He's just saying, though, it's not all that bad, is it? You're dead. Yeah, I know. But it kind of does beat the alternative. What's the alternative? How would that be better? You could be healed. I wasn't talking about that direction. Don't. I'm just saying. Death does play favorites, and it does not like to be denied, Izuku. Him turning, the skeletal side of his face going to appear, as it does look rotten, telling him, death does not like to be denied. And it does it advance whenever Deku does get to turn away. Him going to look back and see it gone. Him trying to just suck in a breath and calm down. But he can't calm down. It gets worse. It just spikes sometimes. It lets him know that it's not going to leave. And that's the worst part. Right now, him going to sit there, trying to go through his skill tree and think about what he can do. Go over it all and make a plan. The guy countered magic. Can he even get past it? No, that doesn't make sense. Kirishima. He needs to pay his respects to him. He's gonna get a hero's burial. That's good. But now how are they supposed to do all this? How are they supposed to do everything together? Bastard got off lucky. Bakugo, he always had it lucky. Skills, abilities, all of it. Back home, he's hot shit. Here, he's a nobody. This is some sort of fucked up fate? No. This is not fate. That damn prophecy. That is not this. The Fallen? Kirishima. No, that can't be it. But What would it be then? But then what is he? The cursed? That's not good. Him feeling the spikes shoot directly into his brain, bringing his hands up and clutching at his head, screaming out in pain. Before people to come running into the room, and he is on the floor, going to clutch at his head and going to shake violently on the ground. And right now, Theodore does it to try and restrain Izuku, help him calm back down. And there is where Deku, he does a stop again for the day. Him not feeling like talking, not feeling like much anymore. And Indra, she does hate to see her rival like this, her friend. And when she does leave, she does go to the courtyard, wanting to pick up on training, but just taking a second to sit there. She doesn't like this pain in her chest. She's new to it. Her mother died a long time ago, and she felt this. She was told not to focus on these things in her training. Try and keep a level head. Try and move forwards, but this is bad. Tears landing on her hands. She should bring her hands up and get confused. She's crying, finding it to be quite odd. Before she tries to stand up and go to move. But when we just start training, she doesn't feel motivated. She feels odd doing it alone. It's quiet and there's no one here to talk to. And she does get to give up on it for a minute. Not sure what to do. Process their loss? That might try to be the best thing. Human lives are long, but they are relatively short to a dragon. This on her mind. It's something else. And we do have Deku, who, after being left alone, he does have a lot going through his head, going through it over and over and over again, and even seeing some things he wishes he could ignore. Even if he does close his eyes, they just get worse. They get more vivid. And that he does not like. As right now, he does go to lay there asleep. Someone bring him dinner as they sit it down on the dresser. Trying to ask Izuku if he'd like anything to go along with it. Perhaps something for dessert. And he does lay in his bed unmoving. Before he does go to shift over and turn, them seeing the darkness of his eyes that do to glow, and they do something to flinch away, turning to leave. As he does go to sit up and try to think about what to do. Bringing his hand up and pulling his sword. In this, he does a stare at a broken handle. Something that needs to be fixed. Something that can be fixed. This does mean much. But what can it do? It's something that they need? No, not they anymore. Him. He needs a new weapon. He needs something to take that guy out. The Demon Lord played them like goddamn fools. He wants him dead. And this murder's intent, it does lead Deku down a road of thoughts. Some he does rather find quite brutal. However, he does begin to hear the screams. He does begin to see faces. And he does get a turn, going to jump to his feet and slam his head directly into a wall, trying to get his thoughts out of his mind. And they do still linger. The whispers fading backwards as he does a turn, ignoring the blood pooling from his forehead. As right now, he does go to hold up his weapon and try to think about what to do, how to move, how to continue his training. He wants revenge. And right now, he needs to continue to get stronger. But how to do that is hard, challenging. Him hearing a beep, and right now his system, it does go to disappear. The tab on his vision going to fade. And he does this on stare that confused. Before a voice can be heard, Izuku, turning his head, and going to see Pyra standing outside. And he does a stare at it before he has to drop his weapon and begin to walk out towards the door. Opening it up, as the moment the glass doors move in front of her, she does it a fade. Him turning and looking around, trying to find her and running to the edge of the balcony, looking around and just being concerned. And this, it does annoy him. He wants to scream, but his voice feels hoarse in his throat. And he just doesn't know. Can he even do that? No, he can't. He shouldn't. He just needs to do something else, do something better. Turning and seeing a woman. Her going to sit there with gray hair, and she does stand tall. Her dress is white, but she does get covered in a strange glow. It's incredible. She's tall. And something about this warmth. Him going to clutch at his head and fall backwards before he has a crash on the balcony and go to slide down, grabbing at his head and feeling these visions rush through his mind. Things that have happened, things that will happen, things that have shown evil. He's seeing the worst of man, how they butcher and kill, how they fight, how they settle petty grievances. He sees how other races fight each other, how they kill, harm each other, and what they do to satiate their vices. All of it. It's nothing. It's horrifying. And these images do flash across his mind. Them trying to stay as he does try to push these thoughts away. Push against this curse. But the more he pushes, the more it tries to latch on like a parasite. And that it does go to harm him. Before he does go to watch as someone does go to bend down. The woman going to tap her finger directly to his forehead, the space between his eyes, and going to angle his head back up towards her. Are you alright? You're real. You're real. I am. Now, hero, are you alright? You look like Nuva. Him trying to climb to his feet. But this thing he's feeling in his brain, it still hurts. I am. Stepping backwards and going to bring her hands down in front of her. You are. Why didn't you help? Her stepping backwards. You or any of them. Right as hell, Ulo. Then there's you. Why did none of you step in? Eris. I know she would have wanted a fucking fight, right? Why did you watch us be butchered? Can you explain that to me? If you wanted us to be killed, you should have done it yourself. Alino would have been fucking preferred. Am I next? I saw her first. Then Kirishima saw her. Who the hell is going to die next? Can you tell me that? You're suffering. Yes. Yes, I am. He took everything from me. Not everything. My life? I offered him to kill me. He wants to make this a sick game. Yes. Yes, he does, unfortunately. You have been cursed, Izuku. And I may not be able to undo that. What? I thought that that's what you were here to do. I have the power to do many things. But not in this state that I am in now. There are ways you can help yourself. But as you are now, I'm uncertain. Then why are you here? To give you a choice. Eris is not happy with you. Neither is, well, many other deities above. You have learned a forbidden art. Sure, they're not. You don't understand what you do wield. It is unstable. You need to either harness it or forget it. Your energy is damaged from it. So what? Can it kill him? It may, harnessed properly. But Anna, she does not know if she can remove this curse either. It is powerful. So what? Why are you here? Tell me. Was it to insult me? Was it to rub it in? Izuku, I'm here because I know what you go through. Really, you know what I go through. Yes, I am a deity, but gods can die. Those above, those above and from below. That curse comes from below, Izuku. It is beyond our powers. But that is another thing. Ador. He is the god of destruction. Of power like that. You are using something he wishes that you would have forgotten. So what? I'm using it. Is that your final choice? I don't have a choice. It's part of the prophecy, isn't it? Apparently we all play this sick little game of yours. How long were you waiting for us? Is this entertainment to you? Her face going to somewhat drop into a frown. And she does have tears streaming down her face. No, it is not. We are trying to help, but we cannot interfere. Us bringing you here did much. Ritus is still comatose. He has not yet awakened. But you are close to awakening. I know it. What the hell are you talking about? I cannot say. I will affect things for... No, you are going to give me some fucking answers. Her staring at him. In her face, it does get a flash of rage. Before it does soften back up. You get one question. I need to know. Know what? What happened to all of them? All of them. The ones who died on the battlefield, or anyone in particular? You know who I'm talking about. You know the people I'm talking about. They're dead. No magic can bring them back. That is what is going on. Now, while you are suffering, Izuku, I do wish I could calm your heart. It is full of rage, and it is not something it should be. I wish for you to do what you must. Him looking up, confused, and she has to tell him, if he is to get stronger, then no, she does give a blessing to him. It is small. It cannot do much, but hopefully it does help him in the end. Under the moon's light, she does hope to help his mind, ease what does trouble him. And he does understand. Someone walked through the door of his room, stepping in and trying to look around. As right now, they just see Deku standing before somebody, and their back is turned to them. Indra going to rush out and looking at the person, who does a turn and express, well now, it does appear they've been spotted. What the fuck? I see. That is typical for one of dragon spawn. Who are you? I am Nuva. Child, I do believe that Aura, she would be not happy to hear you speak of this. You're a god? Yes. You are to aid this hero in his journey. I do believe that that is where your paths do go. They intersect. And that is it. That is all I can say. You hurt looking at Deku, and his face doesn't even show interest. It doesn't even show intrigue. He just looks angry. And she just nod her head, understanding. Before she does, gonna try and tell him. She'll help him. But what of his curse? I will do what I can to try and counter it. He will need to find something to help counter it as well. It is far too powerful for us. I do believe that is all the time I may have on the material plane. But do know this. He needs people. Do not let him lose himself. Before she does it vanish, her fading away into the moonlight with some steam. And she does a turn looking at Deku, who does get to sit there for a second and stare at his hands, feeling the moonlight trying to calm him, try and push back these needles shooting into his mind. And it does feel better. The pain is still there, and he can still see those images. It just feels like something's trying to cushion them now. Something is trying to push them away as well. Help him stay sane. It's taking the edge off slightly, but that's the problem. It's still pretty damn sharp. He doesn't feel a knife cutting through his psyche anymore. He just feels something dull trying to do as much damage as it can, moving back and forth through his mind. And that, it does annoy him. Deku looking out and trying to think about what to do. Trying to think about how to even do this. Should he fly away? Should he go? And as I see his system pop back up, as right now, he does see that he does have a quest going to flash or a few others duping to pop up as well. Him turning and looking at some of the quests. And one of them, it does seem strange. But it is to find Atrigue, undergo his training, and see what he will do. And then there is a blank icon. It going to express. Whenever he does, go click on it as well. It's showing that whenever he does go to meet Atrigue, he will ask them to do a task. Fulfill this task and receive his training. Staring at that, first I'll look down at the third blank quest. Going to wonder what it might be. And this does mean a bit. Before he's a turn, and Indra does a crash rookie into Deku, giving him a hug and pulling him in. Before he does bring his hands up and think about wrapping them around her. He has one friend left, but he does just want to let his hands stay aside as she does get a cry. Him hearing her sob. And he does just want to sit there, unsure of what to do. Mourn the loss of his friends. That is something he's not sure he can do. He's cried, but it just keeps playing in his head again. Everything he said. Everything he did. And this, it does go to make him dig his hands directly into... It does make Deku dig his fingers directly into his palms. As, right now, Angel's gonna snap him out of it whenever she does go to pull away. Him looking down and seeing the blood that is on his hands. Before most of it does it disappear and show the ones in the wounds he made. Now, Izuku, he does a stare at that before he does a turn and look out over the city. All these people count on him. All that pressure. No. He needs to work on this aggression. He needs to kill something. A grin crossing his face. That's right. That's the only logical thing he can think of. He needs to get stronger. He needs to kill something. Something to take his mind off of it. Battle. That is exactly what he needs. In this grin, it does gonna make Indra turn to him, staring at it and being concerned. As right now, he doesn't talk about it. They need to go on a quest. Izuku, rest. We can begin preparations tomorrow. Him turning, before he does a fly off and head to the guild hall. And when people get to see Deku, they do get to see a man who does still have bandages covering him, as he does go to run over to the wall and look at a few things, seeing the highest level quest he can, ripping it free and going to make his way out the door. And some people, they didn't say a word when they saw him, but the expression on his face, it meant something else. And right now, Theodore is told about the situation. He's going to have to do some late night babysitting. And that isn't too good. Now, with that being said, let's cut over to Izuku. A few hours later, Theodore, he does it land, and he does it find Deku currently staying in a camp full of monsters. Him looking around as he's a sidestep an attack and kick one in the head, sending its skull crashing away and flying. Him turning and seeing one there's a lunge directly at him, bringing his hand up and going to grab it directly by the throat, going to snap its neck and turn, going to see a goblin rushing at him, going to somewhat laugh as he has a kick it directly in the face and send it flying away. And the man does stare at this, Deku looking around and trying to see if he can find any more enemies. And they're all dead. Him staring at that as is a turn, his spirit going to begin to pour from his eyes, staring at Theodore. And the man does try to tell his student, right now he needs to come back to the castle. He is going too damn far. No. Izuku, that wasn't a request. That was an order. I was just asking you nicely. No. I need to find him. You'll find him, Izuku. But I'm not strong enough. That's what you're going to say. You don't think I can handle it. You don't think I can do it. You know we die. We're people. I've seen battles, Theodore. I know I can take him on. I just need more power. I just need Izuku. You are young. So you're saying you don't think I can do it? What? Do I need more effort, more time, more training? What is he going to do next time? He thinks that we're too big for our britches. He'll come back and kill me. He'll kill one of us. He did it once, he can do it again. That's what they showed off with those fucking abilities of theirs. It's not good. I'm leaving. And you can't stop me. Zuko, you need to rest. You need time to cope. You don't think I can? You can in time. What you've been through is a lot. That curse is not messing with your head correctly. What do you know about this curse? I'm fine. Do you think that you can stop me? Izuku, we are not going to fight. Why? Because I know I can stop you. You've seen my growth. I know for a fact you have. You're not going to. The man's staring at Deku, as he does express. He's correct. He has seen him fight. He has seen him battle. He has seen many things he's done. But what does he try to intend to do? Is this what he does plan to do? Try and throw around magic? Try and throw around that power he's gained? He lost people as well. And Deku does go rushing forwards. The man bring his hand up to block Deku's punch. Before he does go to find Izuku is a lot stronger than he first realized. Him going to step backwards as Deku he does to throw out another punch. The man going to go to grab it as Izuku does a run in and headbutt. Right now him going to stumble backwards and re-breaking his nose. As he does a rush in for more attacks. And Theodore, he does go to throw up his hand and begin to try and cast. Izuku going to bring his hand up and go to blast out Ice Doki at him. And Theodore, he is immediately frozen in place before he does step forwards, breaking through and trying to meet Izuku. Him rushing in and having speed. The man being uppercutted by Izuku, who does begin to manifest his dragon skill armor. Renault 8 going to pop around his body as he does tell Theodore, come on. Him turning to his student. And Deku, yeah, he does go to bring up his hands, holding them out and telling him, he wants to fight. Come on. The man staring at him. Before he does get to his feet and tell him, this isn't going to be it. They're not going to fight. Deku going to burst into smoke, reappearing behind Theodore and bringing his hands up, wrapping them around his neck and going to begin to try and choke the man out. Him going to bring his hands up and grab Deku by the arm, beginning to try and do what he can to break or claw away at it. But he does have a firm hold. Before he does go to throw himself up into the air and smash himself backwards with gravity magic, thinking that Deku will let go because of that. And he does it to find Deku does have a firm grip before he does go to turn. Right now, Deku going to bring his teeth out and biting Doki into the side of Theodore's head, grabbing him by the ear as he does going to let go and fly backwards. Theodore going to turn and look at Deku, who does bring his hand up and tell him, "Don't make him use it." Theodore staring at Izuku, who does get to express, right now he doesn't want to. He's leaving the kingdom. He's going to find a Drake. They are going to do what they can. He is a fucking hero. He's not a child. Izuku, do you really intend to attack me like this? Before Deku does go to bring up his hand, informing him, manifesting his blade. How about they make a bet? And the man, he does manifest his own blade, not saying a word as he does step in. Him and Deku go to clash, and the two, they do begin to go back and forth. Theodore wanting to test his student, see where he's at. Maybe see if Deku will exhaust himself, tire himself out. Perhaps this is what he needs, to get off some aggression and step away from this. Get back in the field. Find something to do, instead of being cooped up in his room. That could potentially seriously drive him insane. In this, it is where Deku, he is moving in, bringing his blade up and beginning to send out powerful slashes at Theodore. Him going to counter the attacks and try to dodge all of them. Find that Deku's speed might be greater than his own. And this does mean a bit. Him going to move backwards and bring his hand up, casting a spell that will allow him to move faster, decreasing gravity on not only him, but his weapon. And this does mean a bit. Deku rushing in as the man does bring his weapon up, swinging it down as Izuku, he does go to center a whirlwind slash, catching Theodore in the side and going to slice him across the cheek, before he has a catch him and Ducky in the stomach. The man going to move backwards and try to get out of Deku's range. However, he does come rushing in. Theodore going to bring his weapon down and going to try and block, before he does go to watch Deku, who does go thrusting his sword outwards, turning, reaching his hand out and slapping the weapon away from Deku, who does go to turn and throw his foot up, kicking Theodore directly across the face and in the teeth. Right now, him going to feel blood begin to pull up in his mouth. Him going to stumble backwards as Deku does come in, throwing his fist at his Theodore. He does go to re-augment his spell, going to turn and throw out his fist, smashing at Deku. Run out with the gravity 10 times that. And he does a stare at his student. The area going to ripple with a shockwave around them. And people back in the city, they did hear that sound, as if thunders collided directly with another beam. Someone's having a battle. It also could have been a large mountain slide. Some people cannot tell at this range. They just know something involving magic is happening. And Theodore does go to stare to get Deku, who he does go to have his arm begin to heal. Watching as the muscles in it, they do begin to pull back together, and the bone protruding from Deku's hand, it does go to move back in. Him pulling back his hand as he does go to show it to Theodore. It does have skin ripped from it from the collision, but he does still hold it up, still ready. Before he does go to bring his hand and go to rip Theodore to shreds with wound manipulation. Deku watching as wounds pull open around his mentor's body. Him watching it hit him in the torso and then get him in the leg. Deku taking out the leg as he is then going to bring his hand up, telling Theodore, looking down as the man does not fall to a knee, that he's not going to kill his own mentor. but he's leaving. Theodore looking up, staring at Deku and going to get to his feet, telling him, does he really intend to leave? I have to. Don't. Don't apologize. You passed a test. I wish I could share more with you, Zuko, but I don't know. What do you mean? Zuko, I do wish you well on your journey. Him going to bring his hand up and grab a healing potion from his inventory. Before Deku does bring his hand out and grab his crystal, going to try and call Pyra before he's going to freeze for a second. Remembering and going to call Indra, as right now she does try to pack up what she can. And he does get to head back to his room, deciding to try and take whatever magic books he does think he does need on his journey. And there is actually Rosa. Rosa, she heard about what happened with Zuko. She was horrified. And the idea that he was just involved in this, it did wound her heart. She wanted to see if she can do more for Deku. But right now, whenever she's going to arrive, she's going to find a room empty. The hero gone. And right now, he does go flying through the air, heading away from Granala. He does have something to cover that brand on his head. And right now, he does go soaring through the air, taking on a journey. It's a lot. They'll fight. They'll do much. Not only will he get to explore the world, he'll be involved. He'll head further away than he's probably ever headed before. And Indra, she does also want to turn. Her watching Deku in the corner of her eye as the expression does have, it's unreadable to her. Turning back, still wishing that she was at least involved there. She felt useless again. And she does hope to correct that. If her father does take them in for training, then hopefully it works. They do have quite a bit of a journey ahead of themselves. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.